At 7:42 a.m. on August 17, 1943, under the relentless sun of WWII airfield in New Guinea, Technical Sergeant James McKenna hunkered beneath the left wing of a P-38 Lightning. Grease-streaked and sweat-soaked, he watched his pilot, 23-year-old Lieutenant Robert Hayes, strap into the cockpit for what felt like a suicide run. Hayes, a lanky Iowa farm boy with just 6 missions and no kills under his belt, was heading into a hornet's nest. 18 Japanese Mitsubishi A6M0s, sleek predators of the Pacific sky, lay in wait to shred the morning patrol. McKenna knew the P-38 like the veins on his calloused hands. 8 months of wrenching on these twin-engine beasts had etched every rivet into his memory. Twin booms cradling roaring Allisons, a speed demon in a dive, an absolute monster at altitude. But it harbored a deadly secret, one that claimed American lives daily: it couldn't turn with a zero. The Japanese fighter was a featherweight dancer, whipping through a full horizontal loop in half the time the heavier Lightning needed. That edge? Fatal in a dogfight. U.S. doctrine drilled it relentlessly: never turn with a zero. Boom and zoom, dive from the sun, unleash hell with your .50 caliber Brownings and 20mm cannon, then claw for altitude. Hit hard, vanish fast. No prolonged tango. Hayes had obeyed that gospel 5 times over. It hadn't saved him, or anyone else. The Zeros were cunning: they'd feint, lure pilots into rolls, slice inside the P-38's sluggish arc, and paint the tail with 20mm fire. In the past 6 weeks alone, the 5th Air Force had hemorrhaged 37 Lightnings, most trapped in those inescapable turning duels. McKenna had buried too many. Kids, really, fresh-faced eagles climbing into cockpits with boyish grins, returning in flag-draped coffins or not at all. The manuals blamed pilot error, whispering that these aces-to-be ignored the rules. But McKenna, elbows deep in the guts of these machines, knew the truth. It wasn't the men. It was the machine. The P-38's aileron cables snaked through the booms to the tail, then forward via pulleys to the wing surfaces. Specs allowed a whisper of slack, 3/8 of an inch at full deflection. Negligible on paper. Catastrophic in combat. At low speeds in a desperate roll, that microsecond lag between stick yank and aileron bite spelled doom: too slow to jink inside a zero's loop, just fast enough to die. He'd flagged it 2 months back to the engineering officer. Within tolerances, came the curt reply. Factory specs from Lockheed, 7,000 miles away in sun-baked Burbank. Tweaking it? Warranty voided. Field mods to flight controls? Forbidden without brass approval. So McKenna crossed the line. In the dead of night, he scavenged a 6-inch scrap of piano wire from a scrapped bird's rudder trim. With pliers and a gambler's nerve, he bent it into a Z-hook tensioner. 8 minutes to splice it onto Hayes's left aileron cable, 0.4 pounds of extra bite, slack banished like a bad dream. No fanfare. The pre-flight crew, bleary-eyed, obsessed over oil and ammo, missed it entirely. McKenna bit his tongue as Hayes taxied out, engines thundering like twin hurricanes. He tracked the Lightning's climb, a silver arrow vanishing northwest into zero territory. 17 minutes later, the sky would rewrite the rules of aerial war. The first to haunt McKenna was Lieutenant David Chen, July 9, 1943. 3 weeks in theater, a Sacramento gearhead like McKenna, both pre-war hot rodders from California's sun-drenched lots. They'd bond over carburetors during dawn checks. Chen's sweep that morning returned pocked with 3 neat holes in the left boom, his voice a rasp. A zero had slipped inside his roll, the stick lagging like a drunk's reflex. Only his wingman's tracers saved him. McKenna traced the perforations, surgical, predictive fire. The zero had known where Chen would be. That shouldn't happen if the roll snapped clean. Weeks later, word trickled in, Chen, in a loner P-38 over Rabaul, caught turning again. Couldn't escape. Gone. Captain William Wild Bill Morrison followed on August 3. 11 kills, a grizzled tactician who flew the Lightning like an extension of his spine. Over Oro Bay at 12,000 feet, his flight pounced 8 zeros. Morrison nailed one on the first slash. Then 2 reversed, hungry. Radio crackled with his curse, controls, mushy, the roll inverting like molasses. The zeros clung, stitching him at 4,000 feet. Crash. Wreckage pristine, specks green across the board. Pilot error, the report sneered. Morrison's crew chief, Rodriguez from the Texas Panhandle, tore into it anyway. Found nothing. Neither did McKenna. But they shared a look in the humid dusk, it's the cables. By mid-August, the tally scarred McKenna's soul, 17 ghosts. Some he'd bantered with over coffee black sludge, others, just signatures on logs he'd greenlit. Survivors trickled back with the same refrain, a heartbeat's hesitation in the roll, chalked up to the bird's bulk. But McKenna felt it, plucking cables like guitar strings during tune-ups. Loose twang, every one. Within spec, but lethal. Over warm beers with Rodriguez post-Morrison, McKenna confessed, unofficial fix exists. Breaks every rule. Court-martial bait. Rodriguez leaned in. Show me. Hayes embodied the grind. 2 months in, 0 kills, not from greenness, but fidelity to a doctrine that baited traps. Mission 3, textbook boom from 20,000 feet, 400 miles per hour scream, sun-blinded 0 in sights. It snap-rolled, Hayes pursued. The P-38 wallowed, nose-hunting like a bloodhound off-leash. 0 vanished. Mission 4, ambushed pair at 15,000, burst wide, reversal into cannon fire smoking his boom. Rattled, he fled. Mission 5 shattered him, wingman Lieutenant Thomas Parker, 21, his training buddy from Boston's frostbitten fields. August 14 over Finchafen, separated, scissored, zeros glued like leeches. Parker's radio wail, she won't turn. Gunfire. Scream. Silence. Hayes punched his canopy that night, squadron hollowed. Parker's P-38. Logged, combat loss, no defects. McKenna's pre-flight. Flawless. Slack, though, that invisible assassin, had struck again. The maintenance bay reeked eternal, avgas tang, scorched alloy, hydraulic bite. Dawn ritual, fuel the killers, arm the avengers, wave them skyward. Some looped back, perforated. Others fed the jungle. August 16 evening, Hayes ghosted in, eyes hollow. Anything, Sarge. Make her roll. Regulations be damned, I just want tomorrow. McKenna met that gaze, terror masked as resolve, and nodded. Dawn. I'll try. Post taps, hangar hushed save generator growl and mosquito whine. Tropical soup clung like a fever. McKenna pried the left boom panel, metal sun-baked warm. Cable hummed under his tug, 3/8-inch betrayal. Piano wire from the scrap heap, stiff sentinel, bent reluctant under pliers. Thumb gashed, blood slicking grips, he cursed, wiped on fatigues, pressed on. 8 minutes of alchemy, Z-hook forged. Installation. Hell in a thimble, flashlight jittering shadows, shoulder gouged on struts, clevis pin fled into abyss. 5 minutes groping blind, pulse hammering court-martial hymns. Hayes dies without this. Reconnected. Tug. Crisp. Slack exorcised. Panel sealed at 1:15 a.m., tools stowed, thumb throbbing. Night raiders drone distant, his gut twisted. Triumph or treason? Bunk-bound, ceiling stared till reveille. Dawn, fueling frenzy, Hayes briefed, strapped in. 7:42, liftoff. McKenna's vigil, climb, formation, fade to fray. 8:14, Juan Gulf, 13,000 feet. Hayes's finger four sliced sun-backed into 9 zeros. Element lead barked, bounce. Hayes locked the straggler, rising sun vivid, pilot silhouette stark. Dive to 380 miles per hour, guns alive. Tracers clawed, sparks on wing route. Zero snap right, plunged. Hayes rolled pursuit, and lightning struck. Stick flicked, wing bit air now. No stutter, no sludge. 90 degrees in a blink, nose diving true. Burst 2, shells raked fuselage to canopy. Engine bloomed orange, zero cartwheeling smoke veiled into green abyss. First blood. No respite, wingman yelped, bogies 6 high. 3 zeros stooped, vengeance eyed. Throttles rammed, Hayes clawed up, but doctrine's ghost whispered run. Instead, hard left roll, pull. P-38 pirouette, horizon whipping. Lead 0, mid-turn, gaped exposed. Hayes led, squeezed, wing sheared, tumble. 2 down, adrenaline a wildfire. The pair scissored, fainting overshoots. Hayes matched, reversed, airframe an extension of will, no fractional fight. 1 bled airspeed in a greedy bang, Hayes carved inside, 200 feet intimate. Cannons barked point blank, 0 shredded, debris pinging booms like vengeful hail. 3. The last fled, tail between props. Hayes reformed, ammo scant, fuel thirsty. 7 minutes total. Touchdown 9:03, WWII. Engines wheezed silent, Hayes vaulted down, quaking, sodden. Straight to McKenna, it worked. From 15,000 feet, Captain Frank Mitchell witnessed the sorcery. 475th Fighter Group lead, he'd clocked Hayes as solid, not superhuman. That roll? Unnatural, P-38s danced like drunk bears, not this. Debrief, Hayes, buzzing, shrugged, felt, alive. Mitchell probed, maintenance? Ask McKenna. 2 hours on, Grease Monkey McKenna faced Mitchell's stare. Truth spilled, wire, Z-bend, tensions kiss. Risks aired, crash, charges. Mitchell, lost 4 this month to turns. Do it. That night, Mod 2. Dawn flight, Mitchell's rave, rolls like a dream, not a draft horse. Wingman clamored. By August 20th, 9 birds wired. Whispers webbed squadrons, pilots to chiefs, grease to grease. 8 minutes. Game changer. Hayes doubled down August 22nd, 2 more. Mitchell's hat trick August 25th. Stats lied no more, kills climbed, coffins lightened. Word hopped islands. Lieutenant James Watkins, 49th Group at Gussap, scoffed at transfer tales, until his test bird's pilot bagged a 0 post-drought. 4 followed. September, 40 Lightnings reborn, tensions faked for brass inspections, tensioners tucked, replaced post-check. Kill ratios flipped, July's 2-to-1 bloodbath to August's 1.3-to-1, September's near parity. Officers scented shift, probed blind. Japan felt it first, late August. 11th Air Fleet logs, Yanks rolling, aberrantly swift, reversals, unnatural. Tactics, months worth of 0 mastery, crumbled. Ace Saburo Sakai, 64 kills since Pearl, clashed AP-38 over WWII September 3rd. Bait turn classic, lure roll, snap reverse, gut shot inside radius. But this lightning anticipated, colliding near. Sakai dove, shaken, timing, his scalpel, dulled. Veterans echoed, aggression met parity, not prey. Wreckage yielded zilch, booms identical, no gadgets. The wire? Camouflaged kin to stock. Intel flailed, adaptation faltered. Turn bait? Yanks now matched. Hit run? Seeded zeros grace for P-38's brute speed, armor, punch. Riskier presses backfired, September aces felled by July ghosts. Psyche cracked, hunters to hares, cautions creep. By month's end, 38 zeros to 22 lightnings. Orders, engage P-38's only en masse. The dancer, dethroned. October, WWII inspector sniffed cable quirks, unearthed wires. Report ascended, desks dithered. Violate regs? Yes. Save lives? Undeniably, squadrons wired boasted 20% survival bumps. November, Lockheed's brain trust airlifted in. Tests, stresses, flights, safe. Brilliant. Hours from Genesis. P-38J birth December with kin tensioners. Credit? Evaporated. Engineering evolution, docs droned. McKenna? Phantom. Hayes thrived, 63 missions, 11 kills, post-war Iowa skies dusting crops till 82. Annual August 17 calls to McKenna, you gave me wings. Mitchell commanded through Leyte, 16 scalps, retired Colonel 63, preaching McKenna's gospel to rookies, enlisted eyes spot what blueprints blind. McKenna mustered 46, Long Beach Garage 48, engines his post-war war, stories scant, fixed planes. That's it. 1991, historian unearthed logs, tracked the ghost. McKenna, 73, grease-fingered, needed doing. Tally? 80 to 100 souls, by stats. Just the returnees counted. He slipped 2006, 88, Pacific View plot noting mechanic. No wire whisper. Garage endures, new hands, back office photo fades, young McKenna, P-38 Sentinel. August 43, WWII. War's true forge. Not boardrooms or blueprints, sergeants in shadows, tools in twilight, defying, impossible, to defy death. Forgotten fixes, etched in survival. If this tale gripped you as fiercely as the skies it evokes, share it, likes, subs, comments fuel more World War II shadows. Where do you hail from? Texas tarmacs to Tasmanian tides, our circle honors these unsung. Thanks for reading. Their echoes endure.